Call the meeting to order. 3 minutes to the hour of 6, June 17th. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 10th. I'll give everybody a moment.
I already read them.
Changes. I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion to accept. Roger, second.
Second.
Lauren, second. Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Yes, we got it.
Next item on the agenda, we're going to skip over the warrant review and go over the budget. Okay, so as far as the meeting goes, as far as approving the budget, which is on the town warrant, we're going to go through each department. I guess I call the meeting to order to approve the budget, starting with the school department. So at this point, we're approving the school department for $18,066,975. Motion to accept, approve, discussion, approve. Second. All in favor? Roll call. Aye.
Mr. Yule?
Aye.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes. Aye.
Miss O'Neill?
Aye.
Miss Mazeka?
Yeah, aye.
Next item is the BayPAC budget for $1,418,052. Any comments? If none, I hear a motion to approve.
Move.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill? Miss O'Neill?
It's okay. Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm voting out. For some reason, this is not working. It didn't work last night either, so I'll be back.
Okay. Town moderator budget for $1,800. Any comments? If none, do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Okay.
All in roll call?
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Next item is the selectmen's budget for $39,100. Any comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Lauren, second.
Second.
Roger.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Town manager, $386,721. Do I hear a discussion? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Finance committee budget, $101,300. Any comments? If none, I hear a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next item is the finance committee budget for the finance department budget for $1,093,063. There's no comments. Any suggestions, comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item on the budget is legal services budget for $85,000. Discussion. If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is personnel board budget of $111,069. Any comments? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll
call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is town clerk budget for $194,586. Comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
yes.
Next item is land management budget for $125,283. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
Do I have to abstain because my husband's the plumbing inspector?
Under land management.
I never thought of that before.
I don't know, but then we won't have a majority vote.
Oh, then so,
So, your husband is an inspector, but he is an inspector that gets inspected by the permit requests, and so he's not a regular employee of the town. He's only paid based on those inspections. So
okay,
I think
Paid from the fund, the plumbing inspector's fund.
right, and so it falls into a different category. I think
okay, good.
in the future, if you ever really wanted that determination, you can always file a disclosure with the town's clerk's office.
Yeah.
And they might be best to help you along with that. But at this point, because they're not on the regular payroll, I would say you would be sufficient, just like he can inspect jobs and still do work in the town, as long as he's not.
Yeah, because what he's doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will vote yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next item is $7,018. None. Or a motion to approve. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
yes.
Next item is the police department. For $2,572,680. Comment? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
Yes.
Next item is EMS fire. $37,030. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
Yes.
Thank you.
$4,389. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon, Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
yes.
Next item is animal control budget for $78,750. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Second,
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
yes.
Next item is the public works budget for $3,066,980. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
yes.
Next item is the municipal utilities budget for $405,000. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
Yes.
Next item is council on aging budget for $142,028. Comment? If none, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka.
Yes.
Next item is veteran service budget for $208,049.
So moved.
Second?
second,
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is library budget for $405,198. Comment, if not, motion to approve.
so moved,
Second?
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is community center budget for $265,508. Comment, if none, do I have a motion to approve?
so moved,
Second?
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is historical commission budget for $1,264. Comment, if none, do I have a motion to approve?
so moved,
Second?
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is celebration budget for $9,000. Comment, if none, motion to approve.
so moved,
Here a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is debt service for $1,376,493. Comment, if none, motion to approve.
so moved,
Second.
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is employee benefits, $7,401,090. Comment, if none, do I hear a motion to approve?
so
so
moved,
moved,
Second.
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is the sewer enterprise account for $499,015. Comment, if none, motion to approve.
We're not doing any money on that, though. It's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Maybe we should say the motion is $499,015 offset by sewer receipts of $499,015 for a total of $0.
oh, okay,
Okay.
Okay, what she said, so moved,
second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
Next item is the water enterprise account for $100,249 to be offset by a similar amount of $100,249 in receipts for a net of $0. Any comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
so
so
moved,
moved,
Second.
second,
All in favor? Roll call.
Mr. Yule,
Yes.
Mr. Bacon,
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill,
yes,
Ms. Mazeka.
yes,
That was quick.
Okay. Now,
And I apologize for my tardiness. I'm having technical difficulties with my laptop. I have to use my iPad. I just want to confirm that you did vote the school and Bay Path budget in the beginning?
yes,
Okay, great. Thank you.
and we went through this very quickly. For anybody that's listening, these are the changes that we discussed last week, taking out $1 million plus off the original budget that we had approved. And these are net of those requests, which is basically a leveled budget. I think the difference is from 2020 to 2021. It's about a $48,000 difference in the 2 years. So it's basically level funded, which we
and it's
discussed.
balanced.
Because we went so quickly, I wanted anybody that's listening to understand that we have already done our due diligence. It's just more of a formality to record the adjustments that we had discussed at great length last week and the reasoning behind it. So I want to preface the vote. I should have prefaced the vote, I should say. With
And if
that,
I can make a comment about the fiscal 21 budget, I just for the finance committee's knowledge, last night with the selectmen, we passed a July spending plan for fiscal 21. This is just in the event that something either prevented town meeting from going forward and we didn't have an annual budget. if we didn't have an annual budget, we would have no authorization to spend for July. That means no salaries, no insurance, nothing. So it was recommended by the Department of Local Services to pass a July spending plan, and that has been submitted to the state after the town selectmen's approval last night. And it's pretty much based on just what we need to do in July for salaries, insurance, etc.
So we
If
have,
you're interested, I could send a copy of that. I just wanted to let you know that that's something that we had approved.
since we're having, because of conflict with the Conservation Committee, in a kind of an abbreviated meeting tonight, we wanted to get the budget out of the way. The other item on the agenda that we went over was the town warrant, which was approved last evening by the selectmen. It is now 13 minutes after the hour, so we do have 2 minutes. Somebody wants to walk us through where we're at with the town warrant.
I couldn't hear him. Was he asking us to start to watch the town warrant? I couldn't hear you, and John, I'm
I
sorry.
can't hear that well either.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right. Good evening, everybody. I was also a little bit of a Johnny-come-lately. I do appreciate the committee's, reviewing the budget that we presented last week, which made over $1.2 million in reductions in the wake of the COVID-19 virus. Reasons you're also getting your warrant later was because the overall town meeting had been postponed, and that was contingent on once the board set the warrant and the town meeting date, then we would post the warrant. So they voted upon it last night. It has a total of 17 articles. Many of them are routine transfer articles or spending articles into certain funds. If we the first article, of course, is reports to the board. Second article has to do with middle school roof borrowing authorization. The town had a continued sum that it could have borrowed for the middle school project that is no longer required. And it actually is not a good thing to keep on the books. So that is a sort of housekeeping article to remove that borrowing authorization of the $3.3 million that had remained. And the third article is the state highway aid. It's a Chapter 90. It's a routine article in which we authorize both the receipt and disbursement of Chapter 90, which is highway roads funding that we get annually. The next item has to do with purchasing a lawnmower and also providing access to our cemetery as well as monument cleaning, which is part of a actual grant that we have. And this is being supplied by unexpended funds to be reallocated to those three projects. It's a small amount of money, but yet we have to move it from one account to the other. We also are looking to create and reauthorize our revolving funds on an annual basis. But this year we have two. We have created a Board of Health revolving fund and a tax title collection fund. I am taking on tax title collections in this town with quite vigor, with my new treasurer collector and our finance director. It's going to be another strategic goal that we're going to accomplish to move uncollected taxes off the books and into the town's coffers where it should be to help maintain the health of the community. The other ones have to do with revolving funds, which I did state in stabilization funds. There is a small, you might not be aware, there was a celebration stabilization fund set up years ago, which had money still in it. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we can actually transfer into a celebration stabilization fund money that had never been expended from Founders Day article back in 2016. And then maybe we can use that for our veterans programs today and other celebrations that are taking place. Otherwise, it's sitting there and we can't access it because we need to repurpose that article. The next article has to do with Compensated Absence Fund and Stabilization Fund. Both of those have designated amounts that we are putting money into to maintain the health of any unexpected expenses that we might incur related to unexpected absences on the part of employees. And of course, our stabilization fund is something this committee takes very seriously. We are now trying to get up to that 5 to 7% of our overall budget. We have in the last 2 years placed record amounts of money into our stabilization account, but we created a policy through the wonderful guidance of this committee, for Finance Committee, setting up an annual appropriation, and that is $250,000 that will go to our stabilization fund, and it'll bring up our account balance to 1.3 million or so dollars. The OPEB is another one that we created a funding policy, a new finance policy, and we will be transferring $55,000 into the OPEB fund, which already has a very, very healthy over $4 million balance there. And so every year we will have this schedule, and this is the schedule this year for $55,000. The budget article is article number 11, which includes all the things that you have been reviewing with us throughout the course of the year, including our capital outlay budget as it has been approved by this committee as well. The next couple articles, Article 13, 14, have to do with the PEG access funds. I don't know if you've all followed. I know the finance director has mentioned this, as well as our auditor, that we needed to change the way that we are funding PEG access programming. As you know, also our current PEG access provider was dissolving their company, but more importantly, the Department of Revenue prevented us from continuing to pay for those services the way we were. We had to actually bring town meeting people into that process instead of providing funding for that by an agency methodology. And so this Article 13 sets that up and actually creates the authorization for an ability to bring this into the budgetary process or town meeting process. And then Article 14 says we're going to take a certain amount of money and we're going to put it towards public access programming. So that would probably be something that will happen back to back at town meeting. Article 15 is the debt exclusion article that has to do with a very strategic method of trying to provide an infusion of money that's much needed for road repairs in the amount of $15 million. This will not only be at town meeting, but it is on the ballot at the town election. That $15 million is going to be borrowed for in increments of $5 million over 15 years, but the payoff is over a 25-year period of time. As you can see, there is some more detail about what that means for the average homeowner. Our goal was to get as many streets as possible repaired, because we keep hearing about that from our residents, but to do it in a way that would be the least impactful to the average homeowner's budget. We all know we have to invest in our infrastructure, and the roads repair is top on our list in our strategic planning. Article 16 has to do with animal control charges and fees. Right now, there is no way for us to collect from individuals who have their animals at our animal shelter who have been boarded or who have required veterinary care services. We wind up eating all of those costs, even if someone has an animal there for a long time. We've had some high-profile animal cruelty cases in this town, and it has been expensive for us to maintain the health and well-being of some of these animals. So this is to create a municipal lien ability for the town for those people who refuse to pay for the services that the town provided, should they ever sell their real property. We have that for other kinds of uncollected expenses, but this would be for animal control related expenses. And the final article, Article 17, has to do with large scale mounted solar energy systems. This is something the planning board has worked on. They had put a solar moratorium in place. This would allow the solar moratorium to sort of sunset, and this will replace that if it's approved at the annual town meeting. It adds changes to the tables of use in all of our zoning districts, as well as language to how to establish the standards and provision to ensure that these large solar arrays will conform to more consistent development standards that the board would like to have in place. And that would conclude the 17 articles for the June 25th annual town meeting warrant. That was express version.
That was impressive.
There you go. Hopefully I can do that at town meeting with a mask. right out of the quietude of my office.
I'll just put the plug up, right?
Yeah, we don't want to get in and out as quickly as possible. I'm here to answer any questions. I know Katie is as well. So
The
Just
dollar,
a quick question, Article 5, if the town passes Article 5, does that mean that every year we don't have to have something similar to Article 6 on the warrant?
Article 6 has to be on the warrant every year. Article 5 doesn't. Article 5 is changing the bylaw to authorize that particular revolving fund, but
Oh.
you do need to have a spending limit voted on town meeting every year. So Article 6 needs to happen every year. Article 5 is only when you're creating a new fund or changing a fund.
Okay, thank you.
so then these two departments will be added next year to Article 6 then. If there's a revolving fund, there will be money that will be allocated to be transferred out of those. So in addition to wiring and plumbing and gas, we'll be adding Board of Health and tax collection.
And they are on there this year. It's just that's the amount that's the maximum amount we're authorizing to spend. But if they don't raise that amount, you can't spend more than is in the account. So it's a maximum, not necessarily an absolute.
So Article 2, we're rescinding a request for borrowing of 3.3 million. Article is 500,000 roughly, or 505. I'm not sure what it comes out to on the Chapter 90, and then the 47 on Article 4. Article 6 is pretty self-explanatory. The stabilization account had, I think, 15,000 that was sitting in it. On Article 8, it's 50,000 on the absentee fund. And of course, as the town manager, on Article 9, the stabilization is 250, and our schedule for the OPED fund that Katie had set up when we discussed in prior meetings is 55 this year.
Right.
And, the cable account that we're looking to transfer some money is 100,000.
Right.
Article 14 once we have that Article 13 passed, and then we're left with the solar energy, and I'm going to throw it out to the committee now. Is that something we want to recommend, or the first planning board discussion?
I think there would be a planning board approval, and they did have their public hearing and they approved. I think this is more or less about the ability to control the type of development, the pace of the development for these large scale solar arrays, and to make sure that they have these standards for the placement, design, construction, operation, and monitoring of the facilities, which we really didn't have those kinds of spelled out terms in an actual bylaw. So I know that they will be prepared, ready to speak on the bylaw, but they would be in charge, since it is a planning article. That doesn't really, I see, any reflection of monetary reason for this board to say that they need to approve it.
So how does the committee feel? I'm inclined to defer to the planning board. I noticed they have bonding in here, and they actually have remediation in these fields.
Oh, well, then that was looking at it much more closely than I was, Mr. Chairman. It's completely up to the discretion of the committee. If you feel that it would be important to show that level of concern and support to the planning board, I think that's well within your realm in reviewing and approving the entire warrant.
I want to compliment the planning board. It's very well thought of. As I said, there's bonding requirements right down to abandonment of these solar farms, should that in the future, whether it's 10 or 15 years from now. There's provisions in this article. It's very, very voluminous, very detailed, and I think they kind of closed the down door on all the what ifs and hows things could be missed. They've done a very thorough job on what they put together. It's very lengthy, but it's very thorough. I have no problem one way or the other. How does the committee feel about recommending or deferring?
I recommend we defer.
You would recommend we defer?
I recommend we defer as well to the planning board.
No?
I would go with deferring. They put all the work into it.
We have to do a roll call?
Want to take a roll call?
Well, we need a motion.
Yeah, a motion to defer to the planning board on Article 17.
So moved.
Second on the deferral.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Okay, so you're deferring Article 17, and I want to compliment the planning board. I thought they did. It's hard to follow because they really get down into the minutia of everything, every possibility in the future. That I think they've covered everything. And I say that it's pretty voluminous, so it's well thought out. Any other thoughts or comments on the warrant? We've gone over the town manager's gone over what the articles are, and I've inserted some of the dollar amounts that we're projecting that we'll be approving. It is now 8:20 or 6:27. We need to approve each one of these articles, I take it. We want to attempt tonight to approve these articles if the committee so. We still have time, so let's see if we can do that.
Yeah,
Is
we
there
should
any
be able to
discussion?
get it done in 15 minutes.
If we can, 15 minutes, that's the thing.
Yep.
But I don't want to rush anybody. We can have a meeting next week. Is everybody willing to move forward? I am.
I
I
am.
am.
All right. So skipping over Article 1 is the reports. So Article 2 is the rescinding of the $3,300,000 authorized borrowing for the middle school roof.
Okay. Move to approve?
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 3 is to transfer available funds to match Chapter 90 apportionment from the state, which I think is going to be either between 500,000 and 500,000 and 505,000. Somewhere in that neighborhood. It varies a little bit. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Second?
roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Okay, Article 4 is transferring funds from the DPW dump truck that was expended an article on May 6, 2015 for $11,000. Article 8 on May 2nd, 2017 for the DPW replacement of $15,399. Article 13 on May 2nd, 2018 for a backhoe replacement of number 45 for $16,205. And on Article 10 on May 1st, 2019 for the resurfacing of the high school track for $5,200, totaling $47,921.30 for the purchase of a gang mower for the town DPW department. A motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 5 is to approve the setting up of revolving accounts for the Board of Health and for the tax department. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 6 is to transfer money from the revolving account for water inspector for $100,000, plumbing inspector fees for $60,000, gas inspector fees for $20,000, building inspector fees for $100,000, seal and waste measures for $10,000, utility funds for $400,000, animal control for $50,000, Board of Health for $60,000, and title collection for $50,000. Article 6 to transfer these funds from the following revolving accounts as I just cited. Do I hear a motion?
Just for clarification, it's not a transfer, it's just a spending limit vote.
Spending limit vote of those amounts from the
So
revolving.
do I have to abstain? I have in the past.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Abstain?
Article 7 to see if the town will raise by taxation available funds to appropriate money for the Stabilization Fund. As the town manager explained, it goes back to 2016. Money sitting in the account of about $15,000. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 8 is to see if the town will raise by taxation or transfer from free cash to compensate the absentee fund. I think the amount they were looking for at the time is $50,000. Comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Who's this part?
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 9, to see if the town will raise by taxation or transfer available funds the appropriate amount of stabilization account, stabilization fund. And the amount that we're looking for is $250,000.
There's also two other transfers that are going, in addition to the $250,000 from free cash. There's $11,385.22 plus some interest from an old high school stabilization account, and a $468.47 from an old sped stabilization account. These are just some old accounts that the treasurer collector wanted to clean up.
I thought it was like about $12,000 and change, was it? Am I right, Katie, on that?
Well, it's almost 12,000.
Yeah, some of 12,000, in addition to the 250.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're gonna put 250 in, and there's other monies that have been sitting, that's around 12,000 and change, just to give everybody.
Just under, but yes, yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve? Is there any other comments?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Next, Article 10, to see if the town will vote to raise by taxation or transfer available funds the sum of monies, which is $55,000. Yeah, I've already, Katie had set up that schedule, and we're following the schedule on an annual basis. So, discussion of motion to approve.
It is 55,000, but we're also moving another fund that we're going to clean up, a retirement fund, which has $915.21. So in addition to 55,000, we're also going to put that in there. Oh, no, Daily. Because we saw.
Yeah.
All right, so there's going to be another $915, but basically we're following the 55,000, the schedule that we've approved in prior meetings for the open fund. It's an annual thing, so do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call?
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
The next item is the budget, which is, at last I looked, was 40 million, what is it, 40 million that we approved? Got the number here someplace.
On the which one? I'm sorry. Oh, the overall budget, you mean?
Yeah, the overall budget is going to be $40,760,516
Dollars. Yep, you got it.
So basically, we've gone over all the departments. That's what we just did in the beginning of the meeting. This is the sum of that. So we're going to go through at town meeting each department again, but that's what we're approving. We've approved the budget. Just saying in total for the article, we're approving it. So motion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Next item is the capital, and the amount this year is $2,001,840, which we've already gone over, and which is about 119,000 over last year, $1,882,500, or about 6% increase. We've gone over it ad nauseum, but so this is what we're approving in total. It's $2,001,840 in capital requests that we've approved. So,
Right.
motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Next article is 13, to see if we will accept the setting up of the PEG access and cable account as the town manager outlined per the state's directive. So do I hear a motion to approve setting up the account for cable related revenues appropriate?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Miss O'Neill?
Yes.
Miss Mazeka?
Yes.
Next article is the transfer of sum of money, and I think what we're talking about is roughly $100,000 to transfer to that account for use for cable-related fund expenses to access the cable account. Any questions, comments? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
yes.
Article 15 is the $15 million, as the town manager explained, to maintain our roads, to bring our roads up to the concerns of the town. And so, and it's on the ballot, and the amount is $15 million. If there's any comments or questions on that amount or on this article, let me know. If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Hear a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
Yes.
Article 16, to see if the town will, pursuant to provisions of General Chapter 40-58, to allow the imposition of municipal charges on realtor property for animal control fees. As the town manager explained, there is an issue here where we're bearing the cost and we have no vehicle to collect them. This would give us the opportunity to go ahead and assess and put a lien on those money that we've expended on the residents' behalf. Article 16. Do I hear a motion to approve? If there's any comments, if none,
So
So
moved.
moved.
there a second.
Second.
Second,
Second, roll call.
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Bacon?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Ms. Mazeka?
yes.
Wow. Well, we've gone through the warrant. We've gone through the town budget. Is there any old business that we need to discuss? If none, is there any new business that we need to discuss this evening? One. We scheduled a meeting for next Wednesday, the 24th, but we were able to, in record time, approve both the budget and the warrant with roll call.
Great job.
Excellent. You know, I as town manager, and I know Dr. Nash is here too, and it's, we know we're on a time constraint this evening, but I do want to say that the reason why I think you're able to do this is we've all been working very much in partnership and cooperation. You have the two administrators of the largest portions, obviously, of the budget that you have to scrutinize, and we've done that over the months, and we've done it in detail with all the department heads. It's unfortunate that the COVID pandemic took what I thought was a terrific balanced budget and made it something which we had to go back to the drawing board and still produce a balanced budget, but with far less funding in anticipation of those financial forecasts that are on the horizon because of this pandemic and loss of revenues. So we're taking a realistic approach. So I appreciate the support of this finance committee. It's very important, and it's going to be important for us at town meeting to have that unified voice. And I think that the public will anticipate and hopefully embrace that partnership and get us through this process so that we can start the fiscal year off still contending with everything else that we have on a daily basis. And trust me, it's a lot. And so I want to thank the committee for all of its support. Thank our finance director and thank Dr. Nash for working in partnership. It is not easy to level fund a budget, and it won't be easy if we have to even do more of that later on. And so we're taking a very cautious approach, conservative approach. And I know that this committee respects that and supports that with the votes that you take tonight. So thank you so much for that.
Will we be meeting at 6 o'clock on the night of the town meeting like we usually do, just in case something comes up?
I think that's fair. Just
Yeah,
say.
I think it's prudent to do that.
We should schedule having our meeting on the 24th. We should schedule a 6 o'clock meeting on the 25th
At the high school.
at the high school.
And the meeting's on the 25th, isn't it?
Yeah.
On
And we'll-
Thursday.
Thursday the 25th.
Thursday, the
Okay.
Thursday, the 25th, yes.
Okay.
Quorum still be expected to be 100 people. I know we talked about, like a few weeks ago.
Quorum reduction, yes, the Board of Selectmen voted last night to embrace the finally produced, which was last Saturday, from the governor's office, municipal relief in allowing us to reduce our quorum requirements to no less than 10% of our normal quorum. Our quorum number is usually 100, like you said, Lauren, but this would allow us that if only 10 people walked in the door, we still could have a town meeting because it's very important to pass a budget by June 30th. However, we anticipate that we will have more than that. It doesn't preclude more people from coming. It just doesn't prevent us from not being able to do the work of a town meeting because we can't reach 100 person threshold. We do know that we have had many people concerned about being still in closed environments, and this will be a very unusual town meeting that we're going to go over all of those details with the respective parties tomorrow. And even when we do your meeting on that night, of course, we're going to have to do social distancing and make sure that we have the ability to come together as a committee if we need to do that. And if we don't, then we'd do a quick open and adjourn the meeting. So I appreciate the patience for that, but there will be that the Attorney General's office will be notified of that quorum reduction if they haven't already today, and we'll be able to proceed with that reduced quorum threshold.
Okay.
Any other questions of the Finance Committee to the Town Manager regarding the town meeting?
No, I think we're at 6:45.
I can order pizza for
No,
you.
just teasing.
No pizza this year, no pizza.
Not this time.
I know. It's going to be hard enough conducting a meeting with masks on.
Right. Hope they don't fall.
So I think the people will be hoping we go through the warrant quickly. But I'm just being tongue in cheek, Joan. Thank you for saying that. We're going to miss the pizza this year.
Well, I want to thank the committee for its patience and going through all this quickly as we did tonight. Again, I want to make note to anyone that's listening. We've already discussed these things ad nauseum. We were just going through the formality of the roll call to get our thoughts in front, and we did have a draft of the warrant prior to this, so we all had an opportunity to look at it prior. So I had already penciled in a lot of the dollar amounts, so a lot of this has pretty much already been looked at prior days. So if anybody thinks that we were rubber stamping or bum rushing this, it's not the case. We've already looked at great length. This is more of a formality, and we did it in record time.
Yep.
So
6:45.
do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Yule.
Yes.
Mr. Bacon.
Yes.
Miss O'Neill.
Yes.
Miss Mazeka.
Yes.